Welcome to the second half of this teddy coat sewing tutorial. In this part, I'm going to be continuing the first part for this jacket. In this particular video, I'm going to be showing you how to fix the sleeve, how to sew the lining, and how to finish off the jacket really nice and beautiful. So this includes where I marked my buttons and where I marked my buttonhole as well. So if you'd like to see the rest of this project, then keep on watching. In this second half, I'm going to starting off with making the sleeves, which I've already cut out in the first part of this video. If you haven't seen that, please go check it out before watching this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my sleeves and join the side seams on a 1 centimeter seam allowance before joining the sleeve head into the armhole of the jacket. So sewing faux fur needs patience and tactic and more patience. So just take your time if you're working with any kind of furry material. So once that is done, I'm going to go ahead and pin my sleeves into the armhole of the jacket. I have done this jacket up until this point in the first video, so please check it out if you haven't seen it already. And I'm just matching my side seam, my notches, as well as the top of the sleeve head before taking this pinned piece to sew on the domestic machine. So I'm going to sew on a 1 centimeter seam allowance, repeating the same for the other side of the jacket. So that means pinning the sleeve into the armhole before going ahead to sew it. So this is what the sleeve looks like, and I say the shedding started to reduce once the garment was actually starting to come together. So once I'm happy with the sleeve and with the rest of the jacket, it's time to work on the lining. So I've already cut out my lining pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and join the shoulder and the side seams before going in to join the sleeve into the armhole of the lining. And then this whole piece is going to be fixed on the inside of the jacket. So I'm going to sew this on a 1 centimeter seam allowance, and you're going to see it next. So this is what my jacket looks like right now. I really like it, and I appreciate the fact that I actually used felt, so meaning that there was less shedding for the actual jacket. And I'm going to go ahead and finish this off nicely with my lining piece, which I've already sewn together. So I've sewn the shoulder, the side, as well as the sleeve of my lining. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to join the lining to the actual jacket along the entire center front, around the shoulder and down the hem. So what this does is automatically going to close off the jacket and just give it a nice and beautiful finish. But before I'm going to sew, I'm going to join the facing to the front of the jacket on a 2 centimeter seam allowance before pinning off the rest of the lining. So I'm just going in here to cut off that corner that it has after I've sewn it on the 2 centimeter seam allowance, and then I'm going to turn that facing inside out so it looks like this. So sewing corners is what is going to happen here, and it requires a lot of patience and trial and error, and you might not get it right the first time, so just be careful and take your time. So what you're going to do is you're going to pin this particular corner in such a way that you pin the hem all the way to that point, and then you pin the front, and then you notice you're going to have a cornered piece that you would need to cut open when you get to that particular corner of the jacket. So I'm going to do the same for the left and the right, and as you can see here, the bottom part is the hem and the part by the side is the center front of the dress. So I've pinned the jacket all the way around, so that meaning I've pinned the facing and I've pinned the lining together. And as you can see, the lining side that you can see is the wrong side, so meaning we're joining the right side of the lining to the right side of the jacket. And I've gone ahead and I've pleated in the allowance that the lining normally has on the center back to allow for free movement when you have the jacket on. So I'm just going ahead to sew on a 1 cm seam allowance all the way around, and when I get to my tricky corner, I'm going to put the needle in, raise my footer, and then I'm going to get a tiny scissor and I'm going to cut that particular corner to give more room when it's time for me to turn this garment to face the center front of the jacket, so I can continue sewing all the way around. So this is something that I don't even know how to do perfectly yet, and it takes a bit of time to get used to. So once I'm done sewing, I made sure I left a hole that was about 5 inches wide so I can turn my jacket inside out, keeping my lining inside and having my jacket beautifully finished when you look inside of the jacket. So this is what it looks like right now, but I still have to finish off my sleeves. So I'm going to push the lining of the sleeve through the actual sleeve, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the sleeve hem by 2 cm and pin it onto the lining like this. I like to pin this particular folding method twice because what we're going to do next is we are going to push this entire sleeve into the jacket and through that hole that we left open at the bottom, because you don't want to end up sewing your lining along the hem of the sleeve in a wrong way. You want to make sure you get it right. So once I'm done pulling it out, I'm going to go ahead and add a bit more pins. So I'm going to do this all the way around, so I know once I take this to my machine to sew, I don't have to think a lot about if I pin this in the right way or not. So I'm going to do this for my left and right hand sleeve, and I'm going to sew the lining to the hem of the sleeve on a 1 cm seam allowance all the way around. So once you pull this back out again and you actually look at the hem of that sleeve, is nice and clean and properly finished. Once you're done with both sleeves, it's time to hand tack the hole that you left open to pull out the sleeve in the first place. So I'm just using a black thread with a small needle to just do an invisible stitch connecting the actual hem of the jacket to the lining. So this I'm doing on a width of about 2 cm. You can make yours tighter, you can make yours looser, whatever you prefer. So I'm just going to do this all the way until I finish off that entire hole and close off the bottom of this jacket really nice and neat. So once I've gotten to my end, I'm going to tie a knot to secure my stitch and then cut off any excess thread that I might have. So once I'm happy with the hem of the jacket, I am going to give it a press before going ahead to do anything else that I want to do on this jacket. So I did a top stitch on the center front of this jacket. So I stitched all the way around the lapel, around the collar, and what this did is it helped to relax the edges of the lapel and the collar, and I just think it made the jacket look more refined and make it look more chic. So I stitched this on a 1 cm seam allowance. You can do a double stitch if you want, you can make yours even smaller, but I decided to work with 1 cm. So I've gone ahead and I've marked where I want my buttonholes to sit. I've marked on the left and right hand side, so my button as well as my buttonholes, and I went ahead and I did the buttonholes in my domestic machine and stitched on my buttons. So this is the finished jacket. This jacket took me a good number of days to do, so if you're going to make one for yourself, do take your time and enjoy the process. But I love this jacket. It's gotten me so many compliments, and I know I'm going to get a lot of use out of it this year and even coming winter of the coming years. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below if you have any questions, suggestions or ideas, and until my next video, keep being creative, innovative, and have a good morning, afternoon and evening wherever you are. Bye.